Welcome back to Kettle Talk. I'm here with Stanford outfielder Jack Klein. And Jack, this is your second year on the Cape. What were some of the differences between, I don't know, maybe yesterday and, let's say, this date a year ago?
They were pretty similar, honestly. At this point last year, we had a little slide as well, I think. But finally, we have all our guys here is one thing. We're not getting too many more, I don't think. So it's good to get, the full rosters here. Now this is what we got, so we're going to work with it. I think, obviously, we're having a little bit of a slide right now. But that can change in one day, man. You win today, then brand new start, That's what we talked about, resetting all day. So.
Now, for you individually, do you feel much more at ease in the beginning of the season as opposed to the beginning of the season last year?
Yeah, naturally. I mean, anytime you come back to the same environment, you're going to feel a little more at ease. I think last year I had a good feel for what I was going to do out here. I knew that everyone here is a guy. Everyone here throws hard. Everyone's going to have tools. So not to get too high or too low with results, and just keep playing, have fun, and try to enjoy it. I got the same host family, same coaching staff. So, I came back to a great situation.
Now let's talk about Stanford a little bit. The last name Klein holds a lot of weight. Obviously, your grandfather, Bud Klein, two-sport star, and then obviously with the baseball team. But you said that he was actually very modest and didn't brag about his stats, and it wasn't until, unfortunately, he passed away in 2011 where you really found out the legend of him. What was that like, and what were some of the stories you heard from him?
Yeah. Well, I think my grandpa was a very modest man, hardworking, from that generation. You didn't really talk about your accolades or what you did in the past. It was always about what you're doing right now and what was going on in my life. Really asked about me more than him. It was interesting. Again, once he passed, and you get all these people kind of come out of the woodworks to pay their respects, and you start hearing stories. I think probably my favorite one is my dad was at a golf function or something, and somebody heard that my grandpa passed away. So he said, my dad said, "Hey, do you know my grandpa by chance?" The guy said, "Oh, I do know that name. It's Bud Klein." And he was actually talking to Willie Mays, and Willie Mays looked him in the face and said, "That was the guy who got drafted before me, one overall." So it was a cool little moment,
Oh, geez, I don't know how you go from that. So with that said, what were maybe some of the pressures of going to Stanford with that name and then obviously turning into the player that you are?
Mm-hmm. I think the pressure that I felt at first was obviously your name. My name's on the field, so I almost at first didn't want to go there just because I wanted to make my own name. But once I talked to Coach Marcus and kind of just had conversations with him, he made it very clear that, we got, I don't know how many scholarships, 12 or 13. We don't have time to give any charity with scholarships, so we want you to play. And that gave me a little bit of comfort. And my teammates, to be honest, not many of them knew that it was me because I don't talk about it, and it's not something I try to brag about. It is what it is. My grandpa was a great player. So instead of trying to hide from that, I kind of took it on like, I'm honored. I get a chance to play in the same outfield my grandpa did instead of running away from it.
Now, it seems really well now, but there was a time in your Stanford career where you felt like just giving up. It wasn't clicking together.
Absolutely.
And then you get a call from your high school coach. What did Coach Stetcher say to you from St. Ignatius, I think college prep, just getting you back out of the funk that you were in?
Yeah, I think when you're surrounded by baseball as much as you are in college sports, where you're waking up at 5 a.m. to go lift, and then you go to class and you're right back in baseball, sometimes you can forget that it's a game, and it's why I love to play the game. I kind of lost sight of why I like to play the game, to get dirty, to dive, all that stuff. That's the fun part. We're coming out here all day, and we're having fun. We're getting after it, but I'm lucky to do it. So I think when I talked to him, he just reminded me of practices at our little field behind a movie theater where the infield was terrible. We had to get the puddles out by digging with shovels, like little things like that. And it kind of just gets you back to why you play, why I love the game, why I fell in love with the game. So it's kind of that message, and I've kind of ran with it since.
All right, Jack, I appreciate the time. That's Jack Klein. We got starting lineups coming up right after this.